We are not satisfied with the explanation.
And breaking news tonight, the tragic shooting of an unarmed teen, the killing of Trayvon Martin.
To get out of her car.
On Monday, July.
We are not satisfied with the
caused
explanation
Officer
that she
Weekly to
committed suicide.
accidentally pull the trigger.
Waller County, Texas, has a questionable history when it comes to matters of race.
Police brutality is the use of any force exceeding to reasonably necessary to accomplish lawful police purpose. Rodney King was a taxi driver who became nationally known after being beaten by LAPD following a high school car chase on March 3rd, 1991. A witness named George Holliday recorded some of the beating and sent it to a local news station. Here's a clip of it right now.
The 3 police officers facing felony criminal charges were among a group of 15 who stopped a 25-year-old black man last Saturday night, then beat him, kicked him, and clubbed him, unaware that an amateur photographer was recording the incident on videotape. Los Angeles Police Chief Darrell Gates looked at the tape and said he thinks assault with a deadly weapon will be one of the charges.
In our review, we find that the officers...
After the 4 officers beat Rodney King almost to a pulp, they were acquitted in the first trial and all charges were wiped away.
Hello, I'm Genaro Topete, and the Rodney King beating affected me in this way. At the time, I was working in downtown Los Angeles, and it affected me in the way that I lost a day of work. Affected me other way is that the beating that it gave to Rodney King was very inhumane, and it just made me feel at the time very insecure as a Mexican American. And other thing is it was just a negative time at the time because we had a curfew, and it was kind of scary to go out because you don't know what could happen. But
one big question you may be asking yourself is, has the LAPD learned from its mistakes since 1991? And the answer is no. The majority of complaints the LAPD receive are complaints of aggressiveness towards a person of interest and the abuse of their power towards that person. The Rampart scandal referred to the widespread corruption of the Community Resources Against Street Hoodlums, also known as CRASH, in the late 1990s.
More than 70 police officers either assigned to or associated with the Rampart Crash Unit were implicated in some form of misconduct, making it one of the most widespread cases of documented police misconduct in U.S. history.
They are responsible for a long list of offenses, including unprovoked shootings, beatings, frame-ups, planting false evidence, bank robbery, stealing and dealing narcotics, perjury, and covering up evidence of these activities.
The LAPD Rampart scandal had affected many people in the neighborhoods of LA, especially the children. And because the children had looked up to the policemen and higher authority, they thought that they could mimic them and become gang members. These policemen had introduced them to drugs, to violence, and to corruption upon their community, in their city, and to their peers. These policemen had abused their power and they took advantage of their authority.
Michael Brown, an unarmed black teenager, was shot and killed on August 9, 2014 by Darwin Wilson, a white police officer in Ferguson. The shooting promoted protests that rolled the areas for weeks. On November 24th, the St. Louis County prosecutor announced that a grand jury decided not to indict Mr. Wilson. The announcement set off another wave of protests. In March, the Justice Department called on Ferguson to overhaul its criminal justice system, declaring that the city had engaged in constitutional violation. The impact of police brutality has been profound. It has done considerable damage to our country. It has raised racial tensions and created fear in certain cities, and it has become increasingly prevented due to the lack of accountability. The impact on victims is bad because they suffer both physically and mentally. In some cases, the victims have suffered broken bones, brain damage, and even disabilities of their injuries.